stuff in it. Ugh. Oop, let me get my tripod. It's part of the wonderfulness of New England. But that's not to say that, Christmas Day won't be 60 degrees either, because I remember that time. So, New England, as they say, if you don't like the weather, wait an hour. It's true. It's true. It's true. Today, after I get off live here, it is a decorating day. Right now I'm doing laundry, watching some football. Typical Sunday. I think that once I get down to my cave, which is where I'm heading right now, I think we're going to need a fitting song for what I'm going to talk about today. Let me get down there. One thing that's really nice about the cave is that the oil burner's down here, so it is always nice and toasty. Warmest place in the house. Let me get on here. While I'm on here too, I want to read a little message. You guys all saw I posted regarding the GoFundMe that is getting reimbursed to everybody that donated. And I got a this is from GoFundMe. Hello there, our team has received your message. To finalize your refund request, we require that you reply to this email and confirm that the information is correct. Please post an update to your campaign clarifying to your donors why it will be refunded. Now, obviously I couldn't do that because I canceled, I shut down the campaign. Please also note that there are cases in which refunds cannot be issued. After we receive your confirmation, you'll receive an email within 24 hours that we've completed the refunds. And I wrote, this is correct. Please refund each of the donors' money. Thank you. Hi, Amy. Thanks for reaching out. Please note that if we issue refunds, this process cannot be undone, and all donors will receive their money in 10 to 15 business days. Just to confirm, is this the fundraiser you'd like to refund? Since you've already transferred the money, issuing these refunds will cost $1,605 to be pulled automatically out of your connected bank account at my bank. We ask that you alert your bank that a reversal will be processed. And I wrote, yes, that is the GoFundMe I started. I will contact my bank on Monday, which is tomorrow. Thanks for letting us know, Amy. My name is Nora, and I work for our escalated support team. Wanted to let you know that the amount will be affected by the reversal is $1,605 and not $1,684. As I previously stated, I apologize for the confusion. I'll keep an eye out for your reply after you contact your bank. So, that's a little heads up on what's going on there. The money goes directly from my bank to the people that donated. And thank you very much to those people that donated. I do appreciate it. But again, I will still be offering up that $2,000 out of my own pocket because it is worth it. Let me get a good song on here. One of my favorites around the holiday, especially for a lot of these people that are on here that deserve a little bit of a holiday shout out. So, well, let's play it. Welcome in, everybody. It's Christmas time in hell. Good morning, Jody. Welcome in, everybody. Um, it depends, Caroline. They're hold on. It depends. They're still saying a possible winter storm, so they're still not sure how much. Right now, they're only saying like 1 to 3. Christmas time, 14 inches. Yikes! Christmas time in hell. And there you go. There you go. So, I want to play part of a live from I believe it was last night. But before we get there, there's a couple other things. And you know what? I'm going to grace you all with my presence today. Because I want to make sure I look into the dead eyes of some of the people I'm talking to. Let me turn this around here. It's Christmas time. How do I turn my camera here? Here we go. Okay, I think that's good. I got my little Woodstock poster up there from one of the greatest events ever in the history of the 60s and or music. A couple things I heard last night, and I want proof of that. I want proof of this. I heard that Sean, is it true Sean called CPS on Chris? I heard that. Is it true? Thank you guys. You love my den. Yeah, I can do without the Hess truck poster. That was my dad's. My dad collected Hess trucks, but and this, well, I have to turn the camera for this one. Hold on. This is one of my favorite things ever. Oh yeah, Wild Thing from Major League. Oh yeah, a signed shirt. And I have a script all signed. Oh yeah. Yep, one of my favorite things ever. One of the first sports movies my son and I ever watched together. Great movie. But I digress. So I heard that there is an allegation that did Sean call CPS or was it just an allegation? Dark light puppet. I mean, if anybody has proof of that, I would love to see that, or I would love to hear why that allegation's going around. Thank you. It's almost all my natural color. I just have a little left on the ends, but it'll come off next time I get cut. Yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to see that, whether or not that actually happened. If it's true, and I'm not saying it is because I don't know whether or not it is. It's pretty lame. I mean, considering he himself complained that, the state was called on him when he was a fake parent for those, that little while. Dark light puppet. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. I heard that. I heard rumblings of that. If anybody has information on that, can you email it to me? Scammyclaus@gmail.com. Yeah, I don't have proof of it though, but I heard that. Another thing that I want to discuss, because I want to play part of somebody's live here, okay? somebody posted, well, fuck, I'll say it. On Amanda's platform, she posted some charges that T's husband had back in 2000, okay? And they're not good. They're not good. Hold on, I'm gonna pause here for a moment. I'm gonna mute. Okay, sorry about that. My son came down. I wanted to have a talk with him. Say hi and stuff. He just got back from football. So yeah, Amanda posted charges that T's husband caught in 2000, and they're not good. They're not good. I'm sure they're out there. You can find them. I'm not going to post them. So before I even start getting started here, what he's charged of, obviously, again, I'm not going to go through them, but they're not good. And I don't condone that behavior. Okay. I don't. I don't have, I have zero patience for somebody that caught those charges. Now, another thing I want to reach out to people. Okay. Now, I saw the charges. I didn't see what the actual, what the conviction was. So if anybody has what the convictions are, can you please email them to me also at scammyclaus@gmail.com, because I really would like to see that. Now, I don't follow Amanda. It's tedious. I have no interest in that. Every so often I'll get a clip of what she's talking about, and somebody said to listen to her live, her last live. So it's 4 hours. There's no way I'm wasting that much time. I'm going to play about a half hour of it. That's all you need to listen to. And this is, hello. Hi, Jess. What the comments that I'm making today are from me, okay? This has to do with nobody else in here except me. Me as the host, I am the creator, and these are my views and my opinions, shall we say. One of the things that was pretty lame that they did on her platform, and you're going to hear all sorts of windmilling about it, is that she doxed his full name, which, I think is pretty shitty. Because, all it had to be put out there is T's husband. Everybody knows who that would be. But she doxed his full name. So that's interesting. But you'll hear the windmilling and all that kind of stuff going on. But I find it really interesting, okay? And there will be times where I will pause it so I can comment. Hi, Sunflower. With my opinion, and to point out some, hypocrisies and, just some flat out lies. So, yeah, let me play this. Yeah, it was SM. And again, I'm not saying, well, let's put it this way. You're going to hear in this live, again, you're going to hear At the beginning of the live, somebody's in there, obviously tries to bring up Florida Man, and they say, this is not about Florida Man. We're not talking about Florida Man. It has nothing to do with Florida Man. But then all of a sudden they start talking about Florida Man. So, but they showed charges. And again, I haven't seen exactly what the conviction was. If anybody has seen the actual convictions, if you could please message me or tell me what they are in here, because again, all I saw were charges, and it said something like disposed, which means, you know, either it was overturned, either some of them he caught, he was convicted of. I don't know. It's, I want to see exactly what he was convicted of. And let's talk about that for a minute. You're going to hear them talk about the charges that Florida Man has, and you're going to hear them say, oh, well, allegedly, he did this. Florida Man did this. Allegedly, two different things. Yeah. Do you know what the two are? I mean, because from what they're saying, he spent 9 years in prison. Okay. So I'm not sure which charges, were which charges stuck. Again, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to minimize what he did, because the allegations, the charges that were there are terrible. And really any one of those charges, if he was found guilty of, are terrible. No, T's not in any danger. I believe it's in the early... Yes, charges from 2000. Reportedly what they said is he was in prison until 2009. And he served his time. That's not to say, again, listen, to me there's a difference with somebody that does their time for from Mary Jane selling or has it on their person, and they do time. Okay, there's a very big difference to me, in my opinion, of people that are convicted of really vile things and they serve their time. I mean, you can't get past the convictions and the time when it's something vile versus something like possession of Mary Jane, So, regardless, I mean, I have my feelings about what the charges were. I don't know what the conviction was. So until I see what it is, yes, exactly. Difference between victimless, nonviolent, and, and what his charges were. But I want you to listen.
Yesterday on my fucking green screen.
So I have a question. Didn't he put up somebody's charges with their name before? Not that it's, I mean, technically I'm the one that put it up. Yes, it was your live, but I put it up.
Well, okay, it was your live, but I put it up. But, what do people always say? What you put on your platform is your responsibility, So whoever that person is, I think it might be Tangled Web of Lies. I'm not sure, because this is... Shout out to Drama Talk, by the way. This is on Drama Talk's page. It's true. I mean, you put it up there on Amanda's page, but again, it's your platform. You allowed somebody to put something up that docks somebody. So.
And if anyone has a problem with that, they can come to me and I'll tell you exactly why I did so. I didn't sign a declaration of TikTok with all these, don't do this, you can do this, but not to this one, but to this one. I do what I want to do, and I will always do what I want to do when I want to do it.
How much you want?
I have a mother.
How much you want to bet if there was information put out on that person, if somebody doxed her, if somebody, I don't even know anything about this person. I have no clue. But if her information was put out, if she has kids, they were put out, family members were put out, do you think she'd be saying the same thing? There's all people we hate. There are people, hate's a strong word. There are people we don't like on this app. Everybody has somebody they don't like. It happens just like in real life. You're a teacher in a school that has 75 teachers. You work in an office. You work in a hospital. You work in a doctor's office, a grocery store. You work for the government. There's always going to be people you don't like. But when your goal when you come on live every single time is to constantly bash somebody,
father, and I also have children that I take care of. So, yes, people will have their opinions. That's fine. But if they're coming to you about that, I'm the one that actually did it. So they can come to me.
Wrong. It was her platform. Just saying.
And they can come to me as well if they got a problem with me asking you to do it or me allowing it to fucking happen.
Both, Amanda.
I mean, we all know his name because she says his name constantly. So it's not a big secret, his name.
When I was in T's lives a lot, I don't think I've ever heard her mention his real name. I've heard her refer to him as Mr. T, which is neither here nor there, okay? She could have said his name. And, let me also say that I have not been in T's live for months, okay? So this is not, I don't want this spun as, Scammyclaus is sticking up for T. No, I'm not. I'm not at all. But what I am going to point out as this goes on is, again, the hypocrisy of these people.
So there shouldn't be an issue. The big issue is we have women on here promoting DV, threatening people that they're going to out their stories or whatever. And then we got this piece of shit sitting over there literally threatening people several times on a live stream. Women and men.
But yeah, I mean, if the problem is that the name was posted and that's more of a problem than actually what this person has done, there's something wrong with you.
Absolutely.
So if there's a problem with posting his name and not what the person's done, there's a problem with you. I know somebody else on this app where things have been posted about what he's done, and they don't have a problem with that, Point number one. Now again, and I'm going to say this a couple times. based on what somebody sent me a screenshot of, I'm not condoning that behavior, okay? I'm not condoning the behavior of what they showed that her husband had charges for. Again, I have not seen what he was convicted for. But again, regardless, any of the charges as to why he was originally in custody are terrible. They're terrible. I'm not downplaying that. I'm just pointing out the hypocritical things that they say.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, just here for the tea, I have no information of that. I am not privy to that information, okay?
You're going to see me fidgeting like crazy
To do to him.
because I can't sit still, which is one of the reasons
It
why
goes both ways with those two.
I don't have my camera on a lot. So,
But I guarantee you, he hasn't threatened anything like that of what T's husband did. I do what?
wait a minute. I'm assuming she's referring to Florida Man there. That she's comparing the things that Florida Man has done to what T's husband has done. Now, if you want to get to the bare bones of it all, there's one glaring difference already. T's husband spent 9 years in prison, according to what they've said. Again, I haven't seen any proof about this, but this is what they're saying, okay? So he did his time for what he was convicted of, or what he was alleged to have done. Florida Man has a warrant. These people all know it, and he's not answering to that warrant. If he's not guilty, go back to Florida, turn yourself in, get a lawyer. If you're innocent, it'll be easy. It'll be easy. Right? I mean, you get a good lawyer, you prove you didn't do it, or you prove that there were some other factors involved in it. You prove it and you go on. And the question that they should be saying is, why isn't he doing that? Why are you making this about FM? You probably came in late, Retta. What I'm doing is I'm showing the hypocrisy of just 30 minutes of this live last night. And you're going to hear Amanda say in a minute, or somebody say, this isn't about FM. But then they start talking about FM, which they were right here. So, yeah, that's why.
I do what? Take a box.
And you know what, Retta, with all due respect, if you don't like it, you don't have to be here. I'm not going to block you, and I'm not going to mute you. But if you don't want to be here, you can go.
Conversation with me. Now you're saying you're sure he has, when up in the comments you said he did. Make up your mind.
Now remember, Florida Man was the same one who said last year when SP had an open warrant, oh, well, she should be doing the right thing and turning herself in.
Don't be thumb-thugging it out in the comments. Why don't you take a box? Right, JC, I know. Has he? Prove it. Show me the proof of what he's done that's so bad. I bet I know why you won't take a box. I bet.
Also, this live, every time Amanda goes live,
Listen.
it's not about Florida man.
It's not. I wonder.
It's not about Florida man.
Scammy. I have receipts of you being in FM box. When was that? A year and a half ago? 2 years ago? When was that? When was that? Tell me when that was. Was that recently? Was that this year? Was that... Oh, wait a minute. Was it when I went in there to call him out? Was that what it was? Oh, wait a minute. You were in a box talking to him. I was in a box with... Oh, you mean when he followed me into a live that I was in? You mean that? When he says that I'm stalking him, but every time I go into a live in a box, all of a sudden he and his goon squad arrive? That? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about? I was buddying up with him. Here, come on up. Let's talk. I was buddying it up with him, huh? Here, I sent you an invite. Come on up. It's easier to talk. So it went from you were calling him out. You said that I was in his live, I thought you said. I did go into his live a couple months ago to call him out, but get your facts straight. I went into MJ's live, and all of a sudden, Florida Man appears in a box. Is that what you're referring to? And come on up. I sent you an invite. Come on. I'd like to shut the door quick on you because I have things to listen to. Listen, I'm not going to waste my time, okay? I'm not going to waste my time going back and forth with you in comments. Either come up here and have a conversation or get out. How's that? You have been in boxes with him. Tell me when I've been in boxes with him. Come on up, grab a box. Well, let's go. It's easier this way. I can get it over with. No, you know what? I'm triggered by people like you that are putting information out that's not true. So, again, yes, it is. I believe it is, yes. So, I'll give you another chance. Come on. You got big balls. Let's go. Come on. We can have a conversation. Because let me guess. What I'm saying is correct. Because there's been twice in the past week and a half where I've gone in boxes and all of a sudden he's shown up. I did not see your text. Because what I'm not going to let you do is I'm not going to let you sit in here and I'm not going to let you just, put out false information because I don't do that shit. So. Oh, thank you. You know what? If you don't mind, the person's muted. Yeah, I'll give him 10 seconds to get in the box. If not, I'm going to go on because I'm not going to entertain these fools. Not going to happen. Welcome in. Listen, I have no problem with letting people up in a box. And in fact, it's easier for me to talk. I get pissed off when people are in the chat putting out information that's not accurate, and it's much easier to do it, speaking with each other. So, again, Okay, time is up. Let's go on with this. So remember, this person just said every time we go live, it's not about Florida Man.
Yeah.
Period.
Thank you, Joan.
Yeah, they thumb thug. And I tell you what, they try they try and figure out who the next thuggerella is going to be. And I'll tell you what, it's not going to be just here for the tea or that tea. You're not going to be, or just here for the tea. Honey, you're not going to be the new thuggerella of the day. It's always going to be about better days endure. Don't you know the mission? Are you new here?
You hear that?
If you don't like it, move on. Do you need a hug?
No, but you need a Snickers, Amanda.
You, along with the rest of them, can kiss my entire ass. I don't give a fuck.
Well, listen to how many times she doesn't give a fuck, but she keeps bringing up.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it.
Plus, choose a Whirlpool top.
I know you're not new.
My Dia Top Freezer Refrigerator for just $398. These limited time doors.
I know you're not new.
Mods, if there's any comment that you think I should see, if you wouldn't mind pinning it, because they're going, I'm looking at an iPad and not looking at all the comments. I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Do you know who I am? Do you want to find out? You can always find out. Okay, low card. Ding dong. Ding a ding 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 dong. Keep your head ringing. Ding dong. You want to find out how tough I am? Hey, mush. I bet you don't. You found out how tough I am? I bet you.
I'm going to tell you what. These people that constantly want to prove how tough they are on this app, and I've heard Amanda say to pull up, all that stuff. The people that constantly say that they're tough on this app and they try to point out how tough they are usually the biggest weaklings, emotionally and physically.
Don't. What is it? Just for the tea. What is that? You and let me guess. Let me think here. You probably in was it South Carolina? Hey, Jen.
Right, Kim?
Yeah.
They were either bullies in high school or they were bullied in high school.
You in South Carolina? Are you? Just for the tea? Hey, Rude Cupid. Ring a ding 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 dong. Keep the heads ringing. Where'd you go just for the tea? I keep your head ringing. Ooh, in fact, you're not. Deny. Take a box.
Welcome in, room. Bing
You
bong.
want to learn something? Take a box.
If you want to learn something, take a box. You know what it's like going in a box in her live? Yeah. The only thing you learn about her, because it's happened to me, before, is that you get muted. You can't get your word out. She yells over you. She doesn't let you speak. That's what I learned from being in boxes with her.
Finished off her red velvet. Bitch, I put a hurtin' on it, mush. I put a hurtin' on it, baby. It is my favorite. Do you have tea? Do you have any tea on?
You're so worried about people on here begging, but basically you're making money off them with your views. Angel girly, do you know what I do with all the money? Do you know what I do with the money? Angel? Do you know what I do with it? I love these people.
I bet you fucking don't. I bet you don't, bitch. Bet you don't, bitch.
Funny as hell.
Ding 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 dong. Ding ding dong.
Okay, I can't listen to her anymore. I am too.
Tell the world about me. Go ahead. Spill it. Bet you don't. Because you ain't got shit.
So this goes on for a little while. Amanda's playing Billy Big Balls.
Oh, I will. Put mine. Please do. But I do care about is someone who threatens me on the app. And threatens 2 men with sexual assault. Is that a past?
So she's saying that Mr. T threatened her, okay, with assault, and saying that it's a past because he was convicted of assault charges as part of what his charges were and what they showed, okay? So she's saying that because he has a past of doing that and he threatened her, that she's concerned about that because of his past, okay? Remember that.
It is absolutely okay, just for the tea. When I am threatened with physical violence, and 2 men are threatened with sexual assault, absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
Didn't she sit in boxes with T when she was friends with them where Mr. T got angry about people and said stuff to them? I mean, I remember that. So again, it's a situation where it was okay when she was friends with everybody over there. And he was doing that stuff. You know, threatening people because they were going after him or her or whatever. But now it's not okay because it's her now. Okay.
You just saw the charges. You just saw the charges. Yes, that is current and present behavior that has not changed.
Current and present behavior that has not changed. Remember that.
That is the charges. That's why he spent 9 years in prison.
Right, Breezy?
And there's
exactly.
been no changed motherfucking behavior.
No change
he
in the
still
motherfucking
exhibits the same behavior, the same actions that he served 9 years in prison for.
Which is not accurate, by the way.
And under the statutes of his state. Yes, we're talking about Mr. T. And under the statutes of the state, that aggravated sexual assault was done, the victim had to be a child, a disabled person, or an elderly person. So fuck Mr. T. And fuck T. Fuck them all day, every day, forever.
Yep, she does, Tanya.
I don't give a fuck what Just for the T has to motherfucking say. I don't
But she keeps bringing that person up, but she doesn't care.
give a shit what anybody has to motherfucking say.
But you keep saying that. So.
That motherfucker. Ugh. Hey, Mush.
Hey, Amanda.
Hey.
So, since everybody likes to play, fucking word jumble and semantics and split hairs on here, I guess I'll play the game too.
Okay.
He was not charged with what was shown on the paperwork. He was convicted of what was shown on the paperwork. Those two things are two very different fucking things. He could have had...
Now, I'm going to tell you what, again, if anybody has what he was convicted of, if you can send it to me, I would love to see that. I could be wrong, again, because I don't watch them. I do not watch her lives. But I haven't seen exactly what he was charged with. Not that, again, that it would really make a difference, okay? Because the what he had on the charges and what he was convicted of, I don't think are all those charges, okay? So I would, if anybody has that, I would like to see it. That's all I'm saying. Yes, can you email it to me at scammyclaus@gmail.com? I would like to see that. Absolutely. Listen, again, and I'm going to keep saying this because I know somebody's going to try to twist this. I do not condone any of those charges. Thank you. I don't condone any of those charges, okay? I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is I'm pointing out the hypocrisies of what they're talking about, okay? Let me go on.
Charges, and they were only able to convict him with what was shown. So no, we don't know what his charges were. We know what he was convicted of.
No, that's wrong. You listed the charges. You didn't show what he was convicted of. I didn't see anything. I'll wait until I see it.
Yes.
Since play word vomit and split hairs, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what. Sometimes, listen, mush is in Florida man's lives a lot, okay? But I have to say, sometimes he can be kind of the balancing factor, I have heard him say things that are against what that constant barrage of lies and misinformation is over there.
You can be charged with anything. What you're convicted of is the important part.
Yeah.
It's what can be proven. You can have warrants out for your arrest. You can be charged. You can be a person of interest for a whole bunch of shit. But until you are convicted by a court of law, you didn't do the shit, in my opinion.
Good afternoon, M&M's.
So, and I'm just, I'm in no place to judge anyone until the paperwork that you showed, which is a conviction, then I will judge. Or by something I see with...
And again, I can be wrong, but I didn't see them showing any convictions. I saw what they posted, which was charges.
My own eyes. Past that, Who the fuck are we to have? Who the fuck is anyone to say it?
Yeah.
He was convicted of those things that are posted. The story and the charges could be worse, could be something else. How he acted towards you that I saw was my first initial fucking problem.
Yeah.
Now that his conviction came out, all that does is reinforce what I had already thought of the man.
I'm good, Witchling. How are you doing, honey? Miss Justice, he threatened me in Broken Crayons Live the first time with physical violence, and then
I didn't even hear Miss Broken Crayons Live. I just heard the other one.
I didn't. Did you send it to scammyclaus@gmail.com without an E at the end of clause? Because I don't have it.
Slap the shit out of me. Or slap my fucking face, something like that. He said that. And then the second one was in Monsters Live. Where, yes. And, where he said he wanted to...
Wait a minute. Let's point something out that they never told Tangled and Rem knew about. So wait, Rem knew about the charges.
Oh yeah, I was in that box.
Yeah,
for that part.
Yeah,
so.
And then he wanted
they
to
did.
sexually assault Florida man, and
me as well. He said both of you, but and I don't care because he's gonna run his mouth on the internet.
Yeah.
And that's all he's gonna do. So whatever. But I'll call him out, and every place I go.
Yeah. And that's why I said earlier, the women on this app.
Listen.
And he's on this app. He has an account.
Oh really?
Yeah, he said he wanted to essay Florida man and then essay we call him Mr. Manders.
No. Listen, to the person who sent that stuff, I wasn't calling you a hypocrite.
But this is what I said earlier. The women on this app are so concerned and want to hunt down Florida man on the app and off the app in real life because he supposedly took some Pokemon cards.
I love, and this is why now somebody said, why is this turning into Florida man? This is why, okay? I listened to the first half hour of her live and I knew that she was going there. She's trying to downplay, allegedly, that he did that, okay? You know, don't worry about all the video evidence of him going into the store when it was closed. Don't look at, if you want to look at what the warrant is about. And, you could say, well, this is what the charges are. He hasn't been convicted yet. Okay, I'll give you that. But the video evidence, the video of him having, the containers of the cards in a store in Indiana, him showing cards on a live that have been identified from the owner, but they don't want to acknowledge that. They don't want to acknowledge that the owner lost over $100,000 worth of merchandise because he allegedly, burglarized the place. And, listen, Mush, I agree with you, you're not going to have any opinions on it until, he goes to court and he's found criminally liable for it. But see, that's the problem. And y'all are not asking him this question. And you're not talking about this question, which if you were trying to be somewhat unbiased in it, you would say. If he's innocent and he didn't do it, why isn't he going to clear his name? Why? I mean, because he's not going to do it. The same guy who said SP should go, answer to her warrant that has been out there, and she's known about it, and she's not doing the right thing. I got it now. I got it now. Stop the BS.
I call fucking bullshit.
Look, even if FM did that, even if he did, it's not my place to judge him. I am not a victim of that crime.
Right. But what I'm saying
He hasn't been convicted of it.
Right.
And why hasn't he been convicted, Mush? And why shouldn't you worry because you weren't the victim of it? So if it doesn't happen to you, you don't care? Since it didn't happen to you, you don't care that he did it. Allegedly.
There's due process in this country, but what I'm saying is they want to worry themselves with that. But what the core issue of that is, it's because
they don't like they don't like him as a person.
They don't like.
We don't like him as a. Are you fucking kidding me, Mush? That's where I will. That's where I will call bullshit on what he just said. We don't like him as a person. I don't know him as a person. I'm not interested to find out the type of person he is. I see what he has done to many people on this app. I've seen what he's done criminally to a lot of people off of this app. I've seen his rap sheet. Let me throw this hypothetical out there. Information goes out that I burglarized a business, okay? And there is security cameras of me with my vehicle that people know is mine. And I'm walking around a business at or about the same time that it was broken into and burglarized. And then I come back to Connecticut and I go live and I show all of these items that I supposedly own. And these people get information that those are the same items that were burglarized in another state. And then you hear there's a warrant for my arrest because of said incident. Do you really think that they'd be sitting over there saying, oh, well, for Scammy, innocent until proven guilty? Fuck no. Okay? They would not be saying that. They would be crucifying me over an open fire on a cross. That's the hypocrisy I'm talking about. They can all take these positions. If it was any of their businesses or a friend of theirs or their parents' business and this happened to, they would have a completely different view on it.
A dude, saw through their lies and their fake bullshit.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on that.
Yeah, and he
if Florida Man was a woman,
exposed their bullshit.
if a woman was doing everything Florida Man did to certain people, this whole app would be in an uproar.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Really? You're kidding me, right? Let's listen to that again.
Doing everything
Fake bull.
They don't like the way
Worry them.
to judge him. I am not a victim of that crime.
Right. But what I'm saying
He hasn't been convicted of it.
Right. There's due process in this country, but what I'm saying is they want to worry themselves with that. But what the core issue of that is, it's because
they don't like they don't like him as a person.
They don't like the way that a dude, saw through their lies and their fake bullshit.
Tell me, Amanda, what lies and fake bullshit am I mad about that he saw through me? He has made so many false allegations about me that he has never showed any proof of. He's still pushing this whole thing with Guardians of Valor. He says I was in on the thing. Show the proof. He even went so far as to say he was the beneficiary of the GoFundMe money and that he was going to get all of it. And all you effing losers over there were like, oh, Florida man, you're so funny. Oh, you're so smart. It was a fucking lie. Y'all are a bunch of sheep over there. And whatever this guy says, you believe it. What has he proven? What has he exposed that I'm mad about? I'm not mad about that because there's been nothing. There's been nothing he's exposed. What I'm mad about is the fact that he is a fucking terrorist on TikTok. And these people will discount everything he does. They will have some excuse for why it's okay what he does. And they will never call him out for what he does. It blows my mind. You know, I gotta watch my mouth.
On that.
Yeah, and
if Florida Man was a woman,
exposed their bullshit.
if Florida Man was doing,
What did he expose?
doing everything Florida Man did to these.
What did he
certain
expose?
people, this whole app would be in an uproar.
All the lies that he's put out there?
If people were
Because he's a
doing,
dude.
but because he's a dude,
Yeah,
it's there.
yeah. But he has broke down their fakeness and saw through their lies and exposed them. So they're all pissed off about it. That's what it is. It really has nothing to do with
Amanda.
this supposed alleged theft. It's because they're
Supposed alleged theft.
all, what do they say on here, butthurt? They're all pissed off and butthurt because he tore through their lies. He exposed who they really are, and they don't like it. So they're all ganged up together in this little gang of girls that are just pissed off at him. Hey, pause.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not everyone has to be liked. Not everyone has to.
I agree with that.
Cup of tea.
Right. And I don't. Yeah.
And not everyone has to be fucking
Queen Witch.
right.
But you know what the thing is, too? You don't have to like everybody on this app. I said that at the beginning. But what you don't have to do is put out lies, put out slander, put out salacious content, put out defamatory things for the sole purpose of trying to make somebody look bad just because they call you out, showing proof and receipts. That's the biggest difference. When one person gets mad because you're showing proof, but they can't find anything on you, that's when they go to a whole new level of just putting out lies. And that's disgusting. And you're going to get these people that believe it, which honestly, it just tells you more about the people that follow him and support him.
Everyone has to fucking follow a certain mindset or values. Everybody's different. And
Values?
A lot of motherfuckers don't think about it that way.
Right. But that's exactly what it is. He's, you know, they all of them have tried to uphold an image of fakeness. It's just they've tried to hold up this fake image, and he's tore through that and exposed them for their true self and who they are.
Really?
And they do not like it.
Yeah. Well,
And the Lakota people.
Oh, we're gonna get
the Lakota people.
we're gonna get a education on her Native American background, which I could give a rat's ass about.
They makes fun, and he makes fun of.
yep.
Yeah. Because one empath, him is I don't care. I mean, if anybody's spiritual enough and delves into that, you know, type of studies and stuff like that, and just read about it.
I don't know. She just dropped. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just
Hey, I
talking
don't either. But yeah, I will talk about that dirty, rotten motherfucker every time I go live because he is a dirty, rotten motherfucker.
Yep. Fuck him.
Yep. I mean,
And if someone can if someone can be married to a man that did that, knowing he did that,
yeah.
knowing that's what he was convicted of, that is enabling.
And he got out in 2009 and she married him in 2010.
Yeah, so that is the definition of enabling.
Yep. Cool, Gemini.
Me sitting in a box with someone is not enabling.
Really?
Married to a man.
Really? Sitting in a box with somebody is not enabling. No, but what you're doing is you're putting your stamp of approval on what he does. Because most normal people, if you don't like and you don't agree with what somebody does on social media, you don't advertise the fact by going in a box. Because when you go in a box with that person, that means you're okay with them. When do you purposely go in a box with somebody that's done wrong if you don't agree with it? I mean, shit, I don't go into people's boxes on purpose that have done horrible things on this app. I don't do it. Because I don't want anybody saying, oh, well, you know, Scammy went into so-and-so's live who's done all these terrible things. That must mean she's okay with it. Because that's exactly how it would get spun. That's exactly how it would get spun. But it's different when they do it. Because they'll say, oh, we don't condone what he does. We don't agree with what he does. I've told him, you know, off the app that I don't agree with it.
And that you know what his charges are and what everything happened and you still are married to him. I get everyone deserves grace and a chance for rehabilitation and to change.
Hey, Bulldog Deb.
But when you see no changed behavior and you stay, It is what it is.
Yeah.
So
like-
just to clarify that, in the way that he looks at it, and the charges again are pretty are not good. That T's husband was charged with. So you're saying that he's doing the same things, which I highly doubt, because if he was, he would be back in prison again. But I can tell you somebody who is still doing the same stuff and is continuing to do the same stuff and has not changed.
Rim, Miss Justice. We all like Rim.
Oh, yes. I love me some Rim.
He's my idol.
But, and for him to get in, to sound off like he does on T's Lives, for him to do that one night when we were all over there, this was a while back. This was I would say about a year ago. And he's like, yeah, I've got a record. I did some time for assault, because...
I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry, suck my potato. So I will assume something isn't adding up since my question can't be answered. What was your question? Who found the Facebook post? I have no clue. I have no clue. All I know is from what I've heard and what they've said is it was posted on Amanda's green screen a couple nights ago. Somebody brought it to her. Right, Kim? Exactly. Now, again, Kim, in a way I can understand, because there's people look at crimes as kind of different types of crime, okay? You have crimes that people get convicted of, but then it's what they're convicted of that kind of separates them, okay? Like I said before, like somebody who has a possession charge and gets out and does their time, okay? I could see it's a little bit different than somebody who's convicted of really heinous things. I get that. But again, what you're saying is correct. I mean, if it didn't impact them directly, why do they care?
The bar fight. Bar fight? Really? How about fuck you? More than the bar fight, dude.
Look, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. The amount of information people know about you, the amount of personal information people know about you on this app is 95% on you.
I want to hear his explanation for that.
Yes, people get doxxed, people look into others. That happens. I'm not saying it doesn't. But a lot of shit, people just talk and don't think about the little number in the top right corner.
Right.
Gouda cheese? I like Gouda cheese.
Listen, the only way I agree with his comment is if somebody is sitting on this app putting out all their personal information. I have never seen somebody on this app put out all their information, but on their own, and then it coming back to bite them in the ass. Everybody that I've seen get doxxed and have personal information of theirs put out is because people have dug into them. So I don't agree with that comment at all. I don't agree with that.
Gouda. Hey, Eileen. It's real Gouda. My Italian wife. But not only people that are in here, but that are on the outside. Listening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, damn. And then they put it on YouTube. And by the way, Drama Talk, I asked you nicely so many times. Quit putting my shit on your YouTube.
I love that. I love that. The only people that get butthurt about their stuff being on YouTube is people that don't want their lives being replayed and they're worried about things that they say will come back and haunt them. That's it. I mean, the whole point of going on a live, especially with the live that they had before this, where they outed Mr. T's criminal charges, they want people to see that. So wouldn't they be happy that it's getting replayed on YouTube because more people can hear about this? The only people that don't want it on YouTube are people that don't want people like me to go back and listen to it and to be able to point out the bullshit that they're saying.
Here's my thing about this. This might be controversial. If you're in a public platform,
I know.
I get you not wanting it.
And this is where I agree with him. I said sometimes he says stuff.
It is what it is, you know?
I know, I don't fucking want it.
I get it, but
I know.
what's the word? What's the phrase I'm trying to think of? It's one of those necessary evil things. You know, it's a necessary evil. You kind of deal with shit. Just like the trolls that come in that you don't want to deal with and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, now if she did it, like spilled on the FYP, she'll come in to anybody's live. You know, people the person may like or may not like. I don't know who the fuck it is. But they come in and at least they will ask. Like, hey, do you mind? A little bit of courtesy. You know, a little bit of common courtesy and respect. People are going to do what the fuck they're going to do, but being a little courteous about it would probably go a long way.
It would. Yeah, I know, Miss Justice. A bunch of us, well, Rim, myself, and Gemini left. We fucking left, for sure. Hello, Knucklehead. But yeah, we definitely left.
All right, well, I'm going to drop back down and go back to my red velvet cake.
Oh my God, yes, do that.
Yep. Yeah, I had the best Thanksgiving ever. It was fucking Chinese food and red velvet cake.
Oh my God, yes. Red velvet cake. Like I said, I polished off the last piece for breakfast. Fuck yeah.
What I'm having for lunch.
All right. Well, thanks for coming up, Mush. I'm going to have to block you, Jen Savage. Oh my God. Pack it around the piece of cake. And I down the street.
That's where I stopped listening to it. There's still another 3.5 hours. That was Amanda Kay. So somebody said in here earlier that they knew that Rem knew about the charges. If you have proof of that, can you email that to me? Because I'd like to see that. I would like to see that. Hey, Heather, welcome. You know, to me, and again, I'll say it again. The charges are not good. The person who sent me that email, I'm looking at it. I'm reading this and Is it saying that on all those charges he was convicted? Right? Right? Right, just there for the T? So all those counts he was convicted on. He pled no contest to all of them. Yeah, that was not good. Not good. From what I saw, what they posted, they showed what the charges were. I didn't see the conviction. I mean, because there is a big difference, right? There's a big difference between what you're charged with and what you end up getting convicted to. Because, we know when you are when you're arrested for something, there usually is a lot of charges, and then what you do is you take a plea on some of them. So some of them are taken out, some of them go forward with. It shows at the bottom. I'm looking for something that says like he was convicted of these charges and is serving time for these charges. Judgment on plea of guilty or nolo contendere before court, waiver of jury trial, and sentence of confinement 9 years. See, I don't understand a lot of the jargon, It cracks me up though, because I've heard comments on TikTok before, from people over there saying, oh, well, people serve their time. And when you serve your time, for your charges, then you've done the time and you've made amends for what you did wrong and you've paid the price. And, it seems as though he did that. Now, again, there's a big difference between what he did in my eyes and, having a possession charge or something like that. I totally agree with that. But when Amanda or Mush says that they see the same behaviors and they're still happening, that's a pile of crap, because what those charges are, he's not doing those right now. If Amanda wants to play victim saying that he's threatening me, I've heard her threaten people before too. She's always telling people, drive up, come to my house, I'll do this. I mean, come on. Putting his full name out there too is not cool. I don't agree with that at all. Been saying that for a million years. But again, it's funny. It's, the people that try to defend doxing somebody, and, they're the same ones that, again, if it would happen to them or it happened to a good friend of theirs, they'd be pissed. Again, the hypocrisy of it all. I'm trying to read the comments here. Wait, what do you guys, just for the T and Gemini, what are you guys talking about? The fact that Jen did it. Hold on, I'm scrolling up here. Would you two like to come up here and we can have the conversation with it? Because I think it's just so much easier to talk than it is to have comments in the text. And, we can keep it calm here. It's just much easier to have a conversation. So, Gemini. Yeah, listen. Tangled is more than welcome to come up here. The other person is welcome to come up here. I have no problem with that. Yes, exactly. Words and meaning get lost in comments. I 100% agree with that.
Hi.
Hi, what's up?
Trying to keep up in the comments, but yeah, if them two want to come up, that's fine. If they keep arguing, I'm just going to mute them.
Yeah, no, come up. I mean, listen, one of the things that I have always allowed, if people want to come up here and talk about stuff on my platform, they can. I have no problem with that. Because unlike other people's boxes, I'm not going to yell over you and talk over you. What's the gist of the disagreement, though? What's the gist of it? I haven't been following it. Come on, I'm whistling Christmas tunes, so I mean, I'm not going to be getting in any arguments with anybody. I'm just not in the mood. Welcome in.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm okay. So what is the disagreement going on there?
Well, Stop the BS was asking why Retta was in here. And, asking if I'm going to go dig up people's business or whatever she was saying in the comments. Now, that just stems from the group of Stop the BS and Just Jules and Kelly Denton and them making that account that I'm sure you've heard about with the petty tribe stealer.
No, I don't know what that's about. So
yeah, it's just a long story at this point. They made a fake account and they were putting pictures of T and Dora's wife and myself and Rem and Amanda and putting clown faces on them. And other things such, and Reddit pages were made. And they're saying that Jen is Stronger was the one that did it. And I was saying that there's no proof. Now this Just the T person in the comments is saying that T is going to prove that Rem and myself knew about Mr. T's charges, when in fact, I would love to see that proof because we did not know. And I know that for a fact. How I can prove that we didn't know is, I don't even know how I would prove that. But I know Rem off this app. We have been friends for well over 3 years. So we have a very close, personal, family knit relationship off the app, as I once did with T and Dora. So, people can have their opinions on the videos that I make on my Tangled account about T and Dora and dragging them for months and get over it, this and that. They just don't understand what we went through, what I went through personally with them on the app, which I tried to keep off the app. So it's kind of hard for people to understand why, but it's kind of, I look at it this way, Scammy, like you cover, I'm going to use you for an example. Like you cover Sean, right? Yep. And you've covered Maggie and scammers, and T has covered you know, for example, Jen is stronger. Every day streaming, every day talking about them, every day talking about them. So how is it any different if somebody goes live and talks about T and Dora for days on end, weeks on end, months on end? How is that any different, especially if there's new information that's coming out that we are finding or that I am finding that they are currently doing?
And I hear you. I do hear you with that. I think the biggest thing that people see is that what I do regarding Maggie and Sean is not personal. It's not personal. You know, from what I've seen, and you know, I'm sure there's a lot that has gone into you know, what you guys feel you have been put through by T. And I don't know what that stuff is. And you know, that's you're allowed to feel the way you feel. To me it seems like what you guys are doing is personal. I mean, there's, you know, in terms of Maggie, we know what she's doing on this app, which is why she needs to be streamed and information needs to be put out about her. It's the same thing with Sean. It's the same thing with Jen. It's not personal between me or any of those other people. It's based on the fact that there's a lot of shit that they've done to innocent people. Okay. And I know that, you know, there are things that you've posted about Dora and there's things that you've posted about T. We all know that T used to beg on this app. We know that. We know that she has her Cash App or whatever in her bio. I don't know if she still has it. She did. We understand that. But the difference that I see, and you can disagree with me, is that you and Amanda and other people are doing it because you left the platform and you guys were all friends and you're not anymore. I mean, were you the one who found the information regarding his charges?
Yep, that was me.
So that has nothing to do with T on this app. Why was that even important to put it out?
It has everything to do with her husband on a public platform, not once but twice, threatening harm on one of my friends. So yeah, that's personal. That's why I did it. Now, if it was some random person, no. And I agree, like Scammy, it is personal with me and T and Dora. It is. And I can only speak for myself. And the reason why it is because T and Dora, well, mostly T, brought it to the TikTok app, the personal stuff. And I continued it. I mean, T posted so much false information. You made a post about former mods of T's, you know, send me a message or something because you were going to do a live. And she put it out there maybe 2 days in a row that it was me. So I was correcting her. It's not me. I don't like to be lied on. I don't like to be lied to. And that's what these two individuals did. Now, T's husband threatening somebody that's close to me, yes, I have a problem with that. And
are you referring to Amanda?
Yes.
Do you, has Amanda ever threatened anybody?
Not that I can recall that I've heard. I can't say she's never, but I can say that I've never heard her. I only know what I hear with my own ears. I don't go by hearsay. I don't go by what people say. I want to see proof.
Gemini, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You brought his charges to the app because he did something that was somebody close to you, right? That's what you said?
Mm-hmm.
If the charges are what he did in general, why wouldn't you bring that for awareness for everybody, not just what he did to somebody close to you?
Well, I'm not an awareness page, but me bringing it out, the reason was because of what he said to Amanda. I knew that everybody else was going to see it. I don't have a problem with that.
But his charges and listen, I'm not defending those charges. I read what they are. Okay, I mean they're pretty bad. But based on what I read in those charges, what is he doing to Amanda that are based on those charges?
It's the repetitiveness of what he was charged with in his past, and I understand people can change. However, when I sat over with T, I used to hear Mr. T in the background yelling, mostly when she was streaming Jen, and saying things I have never heard with my 2 ears, threatening things like he had recently done to Amanda and 2 other individuals on a live. Now, for me, that's a red flag, because it's almost like something got him to the point to get that angry that could be similar to the anger that he once felt when he got those charges.
I think that's stretching. I mean we've heard him get angry before, and as you said, you were in boxes when you were all tight with T and all that, where he would do that. And generally it was when somebody was threatening his wife or whatever. I mean, I've definitely heard him go off on people. I would not put that at the same level of what his charges are, though. I think that I think that's a stretch. We all get mad on this app. How many times have you heard people say, pull up, or I'd like to punch you in the nose, stuff like that. I think that I think that we all do that. We all say something like that to somebody. But I think that comparing that to what his charges were, I think that offsets the importance of what he was convicted of, because to me it's not equal. Before you found out about those charges, he was doing that, right? I mean, that hasn't changed. I mean, if somebody goes after, my wife, if she's on live or something, I'm going to get heated behind a mic, off of a microphone too. But, I think,
Yeah, I understand that, significant others, defending, but to that extent, I don't believe I don't think that's okay. Threatening somebody on a live platform when you don't know, nobody knows what people are actually capable of. You're on a public platform, you don't even know if the people say what they are or who they are.
believe me,
So
I know that.
yeah,
I
I
know
mean, like,
that.
why even, I don't agree with anybody being threatened, but it was personal for me because I heard this with my own I was in both those lives. I heard it. I have the clips. And that's not okay. Now, putting his record out there is another red flag alarm. I personally, I'm speaking for myself, do not want to have any association with anybody that has a past like that, especially in regards to the essay. I just don't. And that's just my personal thing. That some things are just not forgivable in my eyes.
No, and you know what? That's fine. I'm okay. I'm okay with you feeling that way. I mean, you can feel that way. Um, I just think more that, it wasn't, I feel like it was done not because of his charges and his past and the fact that he, spent time in prison. I just feel it was more to get back at T. And again, listen, I'm not friends, like T and I are not, we haven't been good since July. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I could get back at T with a lot of things that haven't even come out yet. So this
What did that
was,
prove? You know what I mean? It's like,
well, the thing is that it came out then because it was a day or two, if I'm not mistaken, after he threatened Amanda. And that's what fueled me. I was like, oh, hell no, this isn't right. Now, believe it or not, if Amanda wanted to call, she could probably press charges on him for doing that, especially with the laws in her state. That's on her. I mean, that's her decision. That's not any of my business. What she decides to do, that's up to her.
Right.
I'm just speaking in regards to my actions, what I do, what I say. You know what I mean?
No, I understand that. I understand that. I understand that. You know, I would say based on what I've been through on this app, you know, not taking his name out, that was probably not a great move. Because now everybody knows his legal name. I never knew what his first name was.
She said his name before, Scam.
She
said it. She said his full name before on a live. I could probably go back and find it. I'm not going to say anything unless I have proof of it. It's not a hidden thing. It's on his public, you know, on his social media pages as his name. Not TikTok because he's ghostwriter, but on Facebook it is.
So, and let me ask you something. Have you ever been doxxed on this app?
Yes, my children have been posted. I believe I sent you some proof on that too, with horrific pictures, which oddly enough is going to probably come out to be proven it was Dora. I think I shared those with you. I'm waiting on the proof to come back. Yeah, I have.
Was that on a TikTok page or something?
TikTok and Instagram.
I think overall, you know, and I've said this for a long time, there's no need for people's real names and all that to be put out. And, you know, in your case, no, it wasn't right for your kids to be put out there. You know what I mean?
So I have a question, Scammy, because I hear different things, you know, the different rooms that I go into. So some people say, you know, I know the definition of doxing with the malicious intent and all, I get it.
Right.
Some people are saying when they put out names, but names aren't doxing when they do it. And then others are saying for putting somebody's name out is doxing. So which one is it? Is this like a TikTok rule that awareness has come up with where names are doxing, or does it have to be names and addresses and phone numbers? I mean, I could probably list on two hands people that have said people's names on here. So that means everybody has doxed. Is that considered doxing?
First of all, I think states are different in terms of what they consider the legal definition of doxing. And you know, I don't even think, you know, I've only been on the app for about 2 years. And when I started doing awareness, and it'll be 2 years in February, people just didn't do it, you know, and I think it was not I don't think it was a criminal thing as to why people didn't do it. It was just an ethical thing. People just didn't cross that line. I can tell you with the doxing that's been done to me, I've been to the police about it, and you're 100% right. And I've said it on here, you know, putting people's first and last names out is not criminal in a way. There has to be more information put out about the person. But learning what I've learned from the police and all that, criminally, no, in a lot of cases it's not. But ethically, I think a lot of people on this app can agree that it's not right to do it.
Right. But, you know, at the same sense, ethically and morally, it's not right to threaten people on the app either. So it's like, does it then become a tit for tat thing? I'm not really paying attention to the comments, guys. Like, Carrie, T, all you guys in here from over there, if you're saying I've done vile things, come get a box and tell me what I've done, because I own everything that I do. So I'd like to hear it, because all you guys do is talk and I've never seen proof.
I think that I think that, there's times that we all have falling out with people. I've had falling out with people on this app, and this goes for everybody. I'm not just pinpointing you, okay? I think sometimes it's okay to just walk away, you know? I think it's okay, and you just kind of chalk it up to, I was wrong about somebody. I thought they were somebody, but they're not. And, you can just walk away. You can take two paths. You can walk away and not talk about it, or you can talk about it, and you can, whether it's, go after somebody because of it, or however somebody sees fit. I think that talks a lot about the character of somebody, depending on which path you take. Even before this information came out recently, um, I it looks, in my opinion, it looks like a bunch of mean girls just going after, those people. And
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's the same people that do this. It's the same people that went after people too. So, it's almost like some people will say, oh, it's like giving them a taste of their own medicine. I don't have a rhyme or reason as far as giving them a taste of their own medicine. I don't think that would be rightfully so. I do it for my personal reasons because of what they personally did to me and put me through. And only and nobody can say when enough is enough, because I was the one going through it. And people saying they no longer talk about you, this and that. I literally have messages almost daily of stuff that's being said. I match the energy. I've always told them I will match the energy. And I've always told both T and Dora, do not ever lie to me or lie on me. This is a real life friend thing. That's a code that I go by. I don't deal with it. I don't put up with it.
That's what I was going to kind of say. Like, when is enough medicine given? It's like, when will it, or when does it stop? When is it enough? When is it enough information to put out about somebody?
He would like a box, Scammy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, listen. I'm going to tell you what. I will keep this. I think I've been very respectful. Okay.
No, you have. Listen, I'm not on, I don't know your platform enough. I haven't even been in a box on your platform
And I
to
appreciate you coming out.
disrespect it. And I won't disrespect it. I will kindly drop if it gets to go that way, because, it possibly could.
Yeah, and let's try to keep it. We'll try to keep it. Quiet. That would be appreciated. Welcome in.
Good morning.
So,
My question is, what exactly did I lie to you about or lie on you about?
Are you serious right now? I've already told you this.
Yeah.
I've even made a video about it.
well,
And
let's
there's so much
the
on top of my
videos.
head.
do me a favor, Gemini. Just because you know what, I really don't know. So can
I don't.
you verbalize it? Just because I don't know all of this, and I'm sure a lot of people don't. So
Yeah, so let's see. For one, she had a post up saying that, which was Scammy's post, and it was not mine. And I was catching slack for that.
I did, and I apologize for that.
Well, I didn't hear you apologize because I don't follow you and I'm blocked.
Well, I mean,
Then
you
there was
even said
another.
I've apologized.
One at a time.
okay,
Are you gonna let me finish?
let's okay. So there was a post that she said, and it was mine, and you were blamed for, and so she made a mistake on that, and she apologized with that, and it was my post. Okay.
Then she also, there was an account going into her lives that said, she said, oh, that I probably know who that is. That's probably Amanda or T. I mean, I'm sorry, Amanda or Gemini. There's
Okay,
two.
and the same thing has been said in Amanda's life. So I don't. That's not a big. I mean,
Telling your followers when you had at that time almost 100 and something in there that an account is me, yeah, that's a big deal because it's a lie. It's not a mistake because you keep
if
using use a mistake and apology, mistake, apology. How many times are you going to make a mistake and then apologize for it? You've
a
literally been
lot, that's
apologizing
life.
for the past couple months,
No, no,
so
no.
it's not
Let's
changed
not talk over
behavior.
each other.
No
Let's
yelling
not.
and one at a time.
Let's not talk. And
I
let
mean,
me let me.
I'm going to a lot. That's life. I said probably
Well,
it
and
could be them.
and do you know how many times Gemini I'm blamed of being an account that I'm not? I mean, does that? I mean, does that warrant like a clapback? I
Everything
mean, does
that
that warrant a clapback?
everything in my eyes that T and Dora do moving forward since I left them in regards to me, yes, in my opinion, requires a clapback because there is so much behind the scenes that fuel and so little on the app that is put out almost sarcastically like a jab, and they really don't want to go there with me.
Well, I mean,
So
so
those are the things.
every
I'm
time
sorry. Go
I've
ahead.
talked about Amanda, Gemini, or the other person, I've told the story about the breakup, and I've always said I didn't know what I did to warrant everything that I'm getting, because it seems like it's because of Dora, and I didn't listen to what y'all were saying. But nobody come to me until y'all quit talking to me
That's
about
false,
Dora, until
T.
all this started. You didn't tell me.
That's false, T. I listen. Don't you know that I have the freaking proof?
You told me. You told me about Bernadette. You told me how you felt about Bernadette, and I told you how I felt.
Yeah, and then we had a huge text thread of us telling you how we felt. So don't say nobody told you or you were confused
But
or you don't remember, because you always do this and you do it so you can play victim and everybody is
no,
poor fucking T.
I'm not playing victim. You told me how you felt. Y'all told me how you felt. I told you how I felt. That's how it should have ended. It shouldn't have been, well, because she didn't go with what we're saying, then that's it.
No, that's the way you're taking it. We weren't trying to say if you don't go with what we're saying, then we're leaving. We were looking out for you. I personally was giving you a heads up on things that were currently happening that were going to be brought to your platform. I was looking out for you, sticking up for you. You took and you weren't listening, so I kindly walked away. Then the lies started unfolding that I had to go back and start putting puzzle pieces together. And I was like, wow. And at that time, it was mostly Dora. She lied to me for a long time about certain things that I ended up finding the truth about. Yeah, that angers me
Can
a
I?
lot.
Can I? Can I? Let me. Can I ask you something? So, one of the things that always happens on this app when people have issues with somebody, you go back and forth, and then you try to outdo the next person with information. You try to really hurt them. And then they're going to come back and try to hurt you more, and back and forth and back and forth. I think that the information that you put out is pretty, that's information where if somebody wanted it to be put out, the people involved, they would have put it out. I mean, is there a point now where, this information is out that you put out there about her husband? Can you just kind of put a period at the end of the sentence now? I mean, it's pretty devastating. I mean, and I'm thinking about putting anybody in that situation where information is outed about somebody's husband, wife, whatever. You know, that's devastating stuff. Is it possible now to just put a period at the end of it and move on, and just stop the back and forth?
Yeah, Scammy. It's the thing is the back and forth. I'm reacting to what is done. I'm not just something happens and I react to it. I'm not just digging. I'm not the starter of it. So
Okay,
if
and I
she
understand.
stops and Dora stops, or I think Dora has stopped because she's finding her little true crime self again. Then yeah, unless I come across something that I find as far as her talking on us in a live or something, if it's all what I receive as far as proof, if she's still talking, on the app.
So she's private now, though, right?
Oh, I don't know. I have her blocked. She's blocked
So
me or whatever.
when is the last time that? Because I don't know this stuff. When is the last time that she's been on live talking about you?
I would have to look back in the
I mean,
clips. I don't know
was
exact
it
date.
recent?
Maybe like a week or two ago.
So okay.
Besides, her husband going at Amanda, that was a couple days before Thanksgiving.
So from this point on, okay, let's say that there's no more discussion in T's lives about you guys. Is it going to finally stop now, or? I mean, because you say you're reactive, right? And I understand that. I've been in that position before. And, I've gotten to a point where I've realized that if I keep reacting to stuff, it's just going to keep things going.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, Scammy, I can't sit here and tell you that, what I'm going to do in the future. Like, I don't have a crystal ball. I do what I just do. That's just the
Right.
way I am,
And
I can't.
I get that. We're all different. But, you're saying that you're reactive based on what is said in her lives or what she says. So if she does, if all the conversation about you and Amanda and anybody else is done on T's live or platform, does that mean that this will stop?
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if she doesn't, I wouldn't have anything to put out, right? There'd be no more, I wouldn't have any clips because she's not currently speaking on us. So,
Right. I think
the thing that happens is it's like a twisted ball of crap in a sense, because she's got, the main people that are in her live, and then there's ones that come in and come out, and then you got to retell the story and fill these ones in, and then like it's just and I don't really care about, the little minions and from the peanut gallery, like their comments. My only issues on this app is with T and Dora, because it was personal what they put me through. I go a lot of places. I'm nosy as hell. I listen. I comment if I need to, but I don't get in any other shit. T and Dora are my issues because of that. I can't, can I go back and find a whole bunch of stuff to put out on them and what they did? Absolutely. But it's like, I always told them that, like, the ball's in your court. Keep pushing me, keep poking me, and I will let shit out. And people will see them for who they really are. I've always told them that.
well, I
That's
mean,
just the way I am, Scammy. That's just the way I am. And, I didn't know half of this stuff while I sat with them. So everybody's saying, oh, it was fine when you sat with them. I didn't know half this stuff. It's coming through. I'm getting messages from people who are no longer on this app because of them.
well, I think there comes a point where for everybody involved, and I'm not even just talking in this situation. I'm talking about, we see a lot of stuff going on this app, with people going back and forth with each other and always trying to like one up something that they've done. And unfortunately, I think that's human behavior. You put information out on somebody and then they get mad and they want to do it back, and it just keeps going back and forth and back and forth. but as just stated, it sounds like to me, you just said, if there's no more talk about it, then you wouldn't have any reason to do anything else back and forth, right? I mean, is that fair? Is that a fair representation?
Well, I mean, yeah, if nothing, listen, if I stop getting messages and clips and I stop hearing the proof, because I don't go by what just people say, because, somebody will go in my inbox and be like, oh, T's, talking about you, for example. I have to hear it. I have to hear what's like, and it depends what it is. Like, I'm not petty to the point where if she just mentions my name, there has to be context with it. But, I can't, there's just so much, there's just so much that it's just, I'm kind of putting the picture together now. And it's actually mind blowing right now, for me. And I'm trying to, it's in the back burner at this point, unless it needs to come out.
I wish we could all go back to the times where everybody just got along. And if you didn't get along with someone, you just walked away and you just didn't follow them anymore, and you moved on. Because, there has been so much done to people on this app, so much information that's been put out that, has been pretty horrible. And again, it's that one-upsmanship. How can I hurt this person more than they hurt me? And it goes for a lot of situations, not just this one. And listen, I'm not saying that anybody is more guilty than somebody else. I mean, this app that has come back to bite us in the ass. But I just wish that, some people on here could just kind of just let it go. Let people, bygones be bygones, agree to disagree. Everybody's done damage on this app to somebody at one point.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If T can own up to, I'll have to go back and look through clips or whatever as far as the lies go on her half. I've said if she owned up to that, if Dora owned up to her lies that I put out there, then that's a start, because all that's happening is I put something out, and if the thing, this is mind blowing to me. You block me, but then you go to my page on a burner to replay my videos. So the same people that are telling me to stop and move on will then stop looking at my page, because last time I checked, I can put whatever I want on my page. So just don't look at it. Like, I'm not, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. It's like a double standard.
You know what, though? I think we all do that. We all have burners, and we all like to see what is being said about us on different platforms because we've been blocked. I think everybody does that. That's not just, that's not just what they might do.
It's just, some of it is just a little bit hypocritical to me. You sit there and you complain about being dragged for months, but at the same time, you literally obsessively streamed or spoke about a certain individual for years. So, like, what's right and what's wrong? Are we picking and choosing that it's okay to talk about certain people for a long time, but not others? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't feel like I need to explain or why I say things or why I post things when I give enough reason and proof as to why I did so. I don't care if they look at my page on a burner or not. That doesn't bother me. I don't even have them blocked. My page is free for anybody to look at. I don't have a problem with that. It's just the way that,
somebody just said something in the chat that I think I think needs to be said. And I agree with this. Now I have to find it, of course. Hold on. Somebody just said something like it's a lot different, streaming a scammer, and bringing awareness to that person because of what they're doing financially and lying to people to get that money and to bring awareness to that person than it is to just kind of try to character assassinate somebody
Oh yeah, I
because of
understand,
a
but
beef.
I'm even talking about when she had the issue with Stop the BS and Kelly Denton and them. There was countless lives just talking about them the same way that she feels that she's being talked about. I mean, it's not. I'm not just talking about Jen is stronger. I'm relating it to a personal beef that she had with those people. So if you're guilty of doing something, then don't you dare come my way and try to tell me what I'm doing is wrong or should be stopped. That's what I'm saying when it pertains to T and Dora.
Well, I hope that you guys can come to some type of an agreement. I think that the back and forth will always happen, and I think that if you want to look at it like a win in some sick way, but I think the information that you put out a couple nights ago, I mean, I think if you want to look at it, you won. I mean, that was the coup de grace. I mean, that was information that was not out. You put that out. It's got to be embarrassing, and it's got to be it's got to be causing a lot of turmoil. I mean, I know if something like that was put out about somebody, that a significant other or something like that, it would be devastating, but you put it out, and it's out there now. Maybe this is maybe this is a good time to just say, you know, um, you won.
I don't look at it that way, Scammy. I don't. That wording is. I'm not trying to win. I disagree with that. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to win.
Well,
there's nothing to win. What would I be winning? It doesn't make any, it doesn't pertain to me. I don't need to win anything. When I get off this app, I just enjoy my life. It doesn't consume me like others. I mean, it is what it is at this point, I guess. But yeah, I don't, it's not about winning. It's not about having one up. I mean, I can understand how it seems that way to people look on the outside looking in that don't really know the whole situation. I can absolutely understand why it would be seen that way, but it's just not that.
well, I hope that at some point,
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would eventually happen, or that would happen, there, in my opinion, for me, I'm speaking for me, there's no working anything out. It'll just be leave me alone, I'll leave you alone, and that's that. I will never rekindle anything with the two of them.
and that's okay. That's
And
okay.
that's just, yeah, no, there's just
That's
no.
absolutely okay, and you have the right to do that, and everybody has the right. If there's somebody that you were friends with and you had a falling out, there's nobody that can force you or push you into becoming friends again. Some people can do that, and you can make amends and you can get by it and you move on, and some people can't, and that's fine. um we're not telling you to do that, but I just, you just said, if they stop doing it, then you'll stop doing it, and that's probably the best thing. Just leave each other alone, and stop talking about each other.
Yeah, I agree. You would think that would happen until I get another clip. So we'll just see at this point.
Well, and you know what? I think that I think that, based on everything that's happened up until this minute right here, I think it's fair to say you don't talk about them, they don't talk about you, you move on.
Scammy, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's
I
okay. I
understand what
was
you're saying.
done.
Amanda, because I believe you were replaying her live or something earlier in your
Yes.
life. Do you have her blocked? Are you willing
Absolutely.
to let
No,
her come and talk?
absolutely not. I've
Okay.
tried to talk to Amanda. I've gone into her boxes. She's coming here. There's just certain people on this app that don't want to have an adult conversation, and in fact, she said that about me. So I'm not interested. Not interested.
They already did that, Laura. Looked up my family members. So stuff has been posted with memes on my children in cotton fields calling them an N lover. Yeah, so I've already been through that. So whatever
And
you're
do you
trying to
know who
do.
has done that? Absolutely 100% who did it.
I'm at 80% right now because I'm waiting for something to come back to me. Yeah. And it's pointing to Dora.
Well, it's pointing to Dora, but you don't have proof yet.
Nope, but I didn't say I had proof, Scammy.
Right. Okay. Well,
I didn't say I had proof yet.
proof is king, right?
Absolutely.
So,
All
yeah.
right. Well, I'm going to jump down and you have a great day.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you coming up and having a conversation.
No
Thank you
problem.
very much. Bye-bye. Brian Baldwin, I have not seen her on. I mean, I haven't looked for her, but I know I have not seen Colleen and Colleen on doing their thing. As I said, I haven't looked though, so I don't think she has. I haven't gotten anything. So, well, listen. As I've been saying on this app for a long time, if somebody alleges something and there's no proof, then there's no proof and it didn't happen or it's not true. So, um, until there is factual evidence pointing in a direction that somebody is claiming, then you just have to wait. You know, you just have to wait, and if there's if proof comes out, then then you take it with what it shows. Okay. But until that time comes, you just can't you can't believe it. I mean, we've seen that by a lot of people. So many people allege stuff on this app. Look at what Janet alleged about me, and it was just so easy to prove that she was lying about it. Until proof is shown otherwise, it's just conjecture. And I think if more people paid attention to stuff like that, TikTok wouldn't be the cesspool that it is. Because there's too much of that going on. I mean, if people got on this app, okay, and all they did is come on here and said truthful things, people wouldn't like that, unfortunately, because people want that drama. People want to believe that somebody's a terrible person. And if you're in that mindset that somebody is a terrible person and people make allegations about that person, you're going to believe them because you don't like them anyways. And all I ask, and I've always asked, when you hear something about somebody, if somebody's not showing the proof about it, then don't believe it. If there's proof shown, then believe it. But other than that, if more people did that, TikTok would be a much better place.
You okay?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine. Thank you. So, so getting back to that, that whole live, if you go to Drama Talk, you can hear the whole live, um, that Amanda had. I believe it was last night, maybe the night before. You can't really go by the dates that are on there because the date may not be of when the live was. It may have been when it was posted. So if you go to Drama Talk, you can listen to the whole live yourself. I listened to the first half hour, and that's all I needed to hear. I don't know what was discussed after it, but if you want to do it, the best way, as I always say, is listen to what people say. Listen to what they say. Watch how they move on the app. Watch what they say in other lives, and that will give you a good indication of what they're all about. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Firewife. I agree. I agree. But listen, I'm going to get off here because I was on much longer than I thought. I thought I'd be on for an hour, and it's much longer than that. So I'm going to get off here, and I am going to watch some football, and I'm going to do some holiday decorating. I do long for those days where everybody got along. I long for those days where a bunch of us used to go into T's lives and, you know, where everybody was getting along and people were working together, and we were putting a lot of pressure on these scammers on this app. What I have found personally is that when you have people making allegations about you without proof, when you have people doxing you and calling family members and doing all that bullshit, it takes away from what you want to be doing on this app because it's exhausting. It's exhausting to defend yourself against lies that people put out there. And the whole reason why you went on TikTok takes a back seat. And I've experienced that firsthand. I can understand why people stop doing awareness because it takes such an emotional toll on you sometimes to even come on this app. When you feel like you're constantly defending your character and your credibility, you get to a point where you sit there and you say it's just not worth it anymore. But there's also some of us that at times it doesn't seem worth it, but you're not going to give up either, because you're not going to do what some people want, which is to go away. So that's pretty much where I am. But Truth, there was a question. Are you going live?
I may whenever I'm done with these crosses that I'm baking right now in the craft room. So if I do, it'll probably be within the next 45 minutes.
Okay, so everybody keep your eyes out for that live, because I'm sure there's people that would want to go over there from here and hear what you're going to do. But I want to thank everybody, for Truth for coming up in a box, Gemini, T. I want to, thank those people for coming up today. And I want to thank my mods for doing everything in the chat today. I saw there were people that were being muted and blocked, and I 100% support you guys on what you do here. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. And, listen, I may not agree with everything Gemini has done. But, as a guest up here, I'm going to let her I'm going to let her try to explain it. You know, I do feel, and you know, I said this, and I'll say it again. I do feel that the charges of T's husband were not put out because of Amanda being threatened by him. I do know that we do stick up for our friends on this app, but it's the difference between lighting a candle and setting off a nuclear bomb. I think that those charges were aired out on TikTok to go after T. That and you can't tell me otherwise. You can't tell me otherwise.
Thank you, Scammy, for holding this live. I found it to be very productive.
Thanks, Truth. So listen, guys, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day and night. And I'll be back on sometime this week, maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, whatever. I don't really have a plan when I go live anymore. But I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. And that's right. At the end of the day, TikTok is just an app. You know, it's just between the four little walls of your phone that you're looking at right now. There's a whole world out there outside of this app. You know, remember that. Goodbye, guys.